So, an absolute insane start to Naples. It has been nothing but speed bumps and headaches and unforeseen consequences and unforeseen just things. Um, so I get off the train and I start heading to my hotel. And I get to my hotel, which is about 2 miles. Luckily, I took the bus because it was literally hailing outside. There were, I don't know, pea-sized bits of ice pelting me. So I got on the bus, take the bus, I get to my hotel, and I get there, and they're closed. They closed a month ago because their roof was falling in. So Miramare, you guys are some real poo-poo heads for sure. So because they were there and like operating and had their lights on, and they led with that they're not open to tourists, but then it ended with they're not open because the roof was leaking or falling in or something. So you guys are really mean. You guys are not nice. I'm very frustrated with you. Everyone, if you see this video, say leave them some sort of message and just be like, man, you are not nice. And so tomorrow, I've already paid for it as €195, and so tomorrow I'm gonna go back up there and get a refund. I'm gonna do everything I can to get that money back, even though everywhere on the email it says non-refundable. But like, I feel like this is a different circumstance. Like, I didn't cancel, you guys canceled. So hopefully we can get that figured out. And so it's raining and hailing, and I'm standing outside of the hotel, and I had no idea what to do. And so, like I said, I called my mom, thankfully. If you ever go on a trip like this, you definitely you can choose me as your contact if you want to. Go on a big trip, I'll be your contact. I will do everything in my power to facilitate you, because you do need someone who you can rely on and someone that has access to the internet at a moment's notice and can be in constant communication with you, because that is crucial. And so I informed her of the situation, and I went over to a little coffee shop, just a little stand that was down the road to get out of the rain. And I got me a nice little just Americano, and was looking for places. Yeah, I didn't have internet, and so I was in constant communication with my mom back home. And finally, everything around me was insanely expensive, and the things that we did find were super far away, like miles away. And I have this giant backpack, which, I mean, I can always take the bus or whatever, but it was pouring and it was raining and it was cold. And so just needed to find something within, a mile and a half from me, so I could just kind of leg it there and get there and get out of the rain, and get somewhere settled and safe and comfortable. And finally, after 2 hours of searching and trying to find things, we finally located this place called Smart Hotel. It's right on the port. There's 2 cruise ships parked next to it. It's kind of cool. I'll definitely try to get some footage and pictures of that. Unfortunately, as I'm telling the story, I was not able to film any of it. I could have, but my phone was on less than 5% the entire time. And so I didn't want to ruin any battery, and I needed to be able to communicate with people and be able to look at my maps, because I don't have a paper map of Naples like I did in Rome yet. I'm definitely gonna get a paper map soon, tomorrow. And so I get in, I'm like, hey, what's good? Like, here's my passport, here's my booking information, like, here's my CDC COVID card, here's everything that I need. And they were like, oh, okay, cool. Where's your, your green pass? And I was like, I'm American. I don't have a green pass. I have the CDC card. There. And they were like, well, where's the QR code? And I was like, I'm American. I don't have a QR code. Mississippi doesn't do that. Here is my CDC card. They're like, sorry, can't let you in. I was like, yo, dog, what do you mean? You can't let me in. It is pouring rain outside. I've just paid you $170. What do you mean? What do you mean? You won't let me in. They're like, no, can't let you in unless you have a COVID pass, the green pass, or a negative test in the past 48 hours. And so I go rifling through my bag, and I find my Europe travel, I forget what it's called, travel locator form for the EU. It has a QR code on it. So I get it, I give it to him, it doesn't scan. I was just like, dear God, what, you gotta they're like, you need to go get tested. And I was just like, no, it's 7 o'clock, it's 7:30 at that point. No, let me into the room. I'm vaccinated. I'm pulling up, I go on to the internet and I look at my immunization records and I bring them up and I'm showing it to them like, you guys, look, I got the Johnson & Johnson back in March, and then I got the Pfizer booster a week and a half before I came on this trip. I am vaccinated to the T, and I've recovered from COVID. I had it back in March back in March as well. And so I am good, I think, like there's no reason for me to not be good. They were like, dude, you don't have a QR code, we're not letting you in. And I was just like, how do I get it? Okay, if you're not gonna let me in and for not having a QR code, you gotta tell me how to get the QR code at least. They're like, okay, we'll just go get tested. I was just like, okay, I'm literally from America. I know I'm an idiot and I shouldn't be here. Where do I go? I don't know how this works. And finally, she writes down a pharmacy for me. She was like, they're about to close though, so you better hurry up. And so I go rifling through every bit of documentation that I have, trying everything. I have a UK locator form. I have my old vaccinations, my old negative test. I'm trying to just dude, let me in, please. What do you mean? I am good. I'm a good noodle. I did all the things. But no. So she writes me down the address and I head up to the pharmacy. It was easy to get there because I had internet, I had Wi-Fi, so I was able to put it in my Google Maps and just, run up there. So I literally run up there, and I get up there around 8 o'clock, a little before, and the doctor wasn't in. And I was like, dude, I don't know what you mean. No, test me. Here's all my, here's my passport, here's my vaccination card, here's all my old records, here's everything. Dude, just give me a QR code. I don't know what you need or what you want from me. Here, please give me a QR code. And he was like, come back tomorrow. And I was just like, no, what do you mean? I can't sleep it's raining, and how do I have to have it tonight, my brother, I have to. And he was just like, well, you can try another pharmacy. And I was just like, okay, where would that be? I literally, like I said, man, I'm from America and I landed in Naples only hours ago. I have not, I should have, I guess, looked up where all the pharmacies were in town and been more prepared to get tested if I needed to, which I am now fully prepared to go get tested whenever, however I need to, because it's 5 minutes, whatever, who cares? I need to go do things. So whatever it takes to go do the things, I'm going to do that. And he's like, he writes it on, he gets out a piece of paper and he writes it down. It's Polizio Station or something. Politicchio, I'm brain dead, so I don't even remember what the name was. And he was like, you can take the metro, it's right outside, or you can call a taxi. And I was just like, okay, you're not nice either, man. And so I go out into the rain and basically run out to the middle of the street waving taxis. Taxi, taxi, taxi. All of them. They had people already, or they were just no. They straight up were just no. And I was just like, what do you mean? How do taxis work? If I can't just flag you down, like, do I have to call you? I guess. I don't know. Could not catch a taxi because I did not want to take the metro because I was willing to pay the expense for an immediate route there to make sure I got there in time. But that didn't work out. And so I was only getting wetter and colder and taking longer. So I was like, the metro's right here. I can figure this out. And so I go down to the metro. I go to the guy. I was like, yo, dog, how do I get a ticket? I don't know. He's like, where are you trying to go? I was like, Polizia station. He's like, come with me. So we just bypass all the gates. I didn't have to, it's only €1 to ride the metro. But luckily he didn't make me pay the euro. And he was just like, come with me. And so we go. He's like, you go down to these stairs and you get on the train down there. I was just like, okay, cool. So I go down the stairs. There's 2 trains. There's a train to the right, a train to the left. And I was just like, dear God. So I go to the first train, and I'm looking around at where its locations are, and I see Polizia station on there. I'm like, oh, sweet, this is it. Nice. So I'm kind of posted up, but then, like, I'm looking at the sign, and I'm, like, getting kind of nervous. Like, I don't think this is the right train for whatever reason. So I go up to a random guy, and I was just like, hey, brother, like, is this metro going to Polizia station? And he's like, no, it's the other train. I was like, oh, of course it is. And so I have to run over to the other train, and as I'm running in, the subway's pulling off. And I was just like, oh my God, why? How does this keep happening? So I was like, okay, whatever, not a big deal. I'm sure the next one will be here in like, 5, 10, 20 minutes, whatever. And, it came pretty quick. It was like 5 minutes tops. And it came in, and I was able to get onto it. And then I have to, I'm reading the signs to try to figure it out. It is 11 stops away, which isn't that bad because it was only like 20-minute ride. But first impressions, I saw that it was 11 stops away, and I was like, oh dear God, where am I going? I am so screwed. No way I make it in time. No, like, this is not going to work out. And so I'm kind of thinking in my head, what happens, if I don't get there? And so I'm like, whatever, like, I'll figure something out. And so I'm thinking about how I got my Europe locator code. I was like, maybe if I can just fill out another locator form that has a QR code on it. So maybe, maybe I can get that new form tonight, and I can just do that and show them. And I was like, I'm still gonna go. I'm already here. I'm on the train, so and with no internet and like this 4% battery, and so I was like, I can't just like waste my phone trying to get on it right now. And so I just write it out. 11 stops later, I hop off Polizia Circle or Polizia Station, and I get up there, and I can't find the pharmacy on my Apple Maps, of course. So I'm just standing there at the top of the metro, like, where is this place? And then I had a guy was just coming up the stairs, my guy about my age. I was just like, yo, man, like, do you know where this place is? Like, I don't speak Italian. Like, I am straight up so American. It hurts. It hurts. And he was just like, he just kind of, once again, that was probably very offensive to my Italian friends, but he didn't use a whole bunch of words. It was just a bunch of like sounds and gestures at first. And then he very much spoke fluently Italian and did not speak a lick of English. And I kind of surmised that he wanted me to like follow him. He had an umbrella, and so he let me just like hide under his umbrella, and he walked me to the pharmacy. Francesco was his name, Francesco. And oh my goodness, bless your heart and soul, brother. You deserve everything in this world. You helped some random dude who was sopping wet and cold, who had no idea where to go. You walked him to the pharmacy, which, granted, it was, maybe 1,500 feet, maybe 1,000 feet. Like, it wasn't in plain sight off once you get off the metro, but I mean, it was legit like a 3-minute walk. It was not far at all. But still, bless your heart for doing that. Like, you could have just easily just like stabbed me, murdered me, and taken all my stuff and ran away. But you literally took me under your umbrella and tried to make small talk with me. and like he tried to do English, and like it was good enough for me to like say words. We like kind of just spoke in like single words back and forth. And he walks me up to the pharmacy, and I was just like, dude, bless, thank you so much. And he was just like, oh, ciao, buonasera. And I was just like, you're so beautiful. My God, thank you for being nice. Oh my goodness. And so if I get to the pharmacy and I go up, I'm like, hey brother, like I gotta get a QR code, please. He's like, yeah, for sure. Just go inside, tell him what you need, pay for it, come back out, fill out some paperwork, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. And dude spoke really good English. He was some sort of government official or some sort of health official for Italy. And I was just like, oh, sweet, thank God. So I go in. However, the pharmacist did not speak much English at all. And so I tried to convey what I needed to have done. He was just like, oh no, come back tomorrow. And I was just like, no, I just took 11 stops to get here, brother. No, just straight up no. Like, dude, what do you mean no? However, I did not say that. I was just like, oh, okay. And so I went back out to the guy, the health official guy, and I was just like, yo, he told me to come back tomorrow, but you told me I could go inside and get tested. He's like, yeah, you can definitely get tested. And I was like, with the QR code? And he was like, yeah. So he took me inside to the pharmacist, spoke Italian, and the guy, the pharmacist, looks at me. He's like, oh, okay, 15 euro. And I was just like, okay, why didn't we do that the first time? So I gave him the 15 euro. They give me they give me the change, and, they give me a number and all sorts of stuff. I come back out to the health official guy, and I was like, here's my number, brother. Like, you just saw me do it. And he was like, no, you have to go fill out this paperwork real quick. So filling out all this paperwork, then, my name, birthday, just kind of standard patient information. But I'm not a part of the internet, of the Italian, like, social safety net program where I just have insurance. So I don't have a number. And so he's just like, just put your passport number and write down your email off to the side of it, and we'll make it work. And I was just like, dude, bless you again. Thank you for being a good person. Thank you for helping me. So I fill out the paperwork, and outside they have a big stand just set up where, they're just constant ladies decked out in hazmat gear. So I go in, she's like, sit down. I was just like, oh goodness. So I sit down and did the nose. And something that makes a lot more sense that I've been tested several times in America and they've never done. They've always just taken the swab and just shoved that right up. And it's a hard, dry tip, cotton swab. And so it's not exactly comfortable. However, she was very, I guess, trained. And so she takes the swab. She's like, open your mouth. I was just like, okay. So she kind of dabs it on my tongue, and she just kind of she kind of gets it nice and moist. And then she goes, lean back, and so much easier, so much smoother, much less painless, much less painful, not as painful, super easy. And so she was like, I was like, do I need to wait like 20 minutes or so? She's like, oh, no, 5 minutes, it should be fine. I'm just like, oh, blessed. Once again, things are looking up. And so finally, about 5 minutes later, she goes, oh, you're negative. And she's like, you can go. And I was just like, no, I need to get the QR code. I can't just leave. She was like, oh, well, go back and talk to the health official guy. And I was just like, okay. And so I go and tell him, and I was just like, she says I'm negative. And she kind of leans over, and she's like, yeah, he's negative. And give him my passport, and he starts typing everything out onto his computer and filling everything out. Prints me off the QR code. He lets me, I was smart enough to bring my charger and everything with me. He lets me charge my phone over there in his little, warmed in, little closed in hut thing. Thank God. And I get the QR code, and I get the thing, I get everything. And then I have to trek my way back to the metro. I take 11 stops back. And I get off, and I come in, and I just immediately apologized a million times to the people at the front desk. I'm so sorry, man. I'm American. I'm dumb. Help me. And like, I'm sorry that I put myself in this situation. Like, I realize this is 100% my fault. Like, dude, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I made you go through this, but like, I need assistance, like, straight up. Like, you know, they were nice. And they were like, oh, you're so good. It's fine. You know, we're just glad that you got tested. And I was just like, dude, whatever it takes. And so they upgraded me a room. And so now, instead of just like a little